Welcome back to FiddleUP. I am Emerald Ray, and today we are going to learn Lacey's. This is a really super cool, super bluesy Liz Carroll tune, and it has just such wonderful third and fourth finger action there. You really have to work those upper fingers really hard, which is one of the reasons I love this tune. And the other reason is it's just like there's so much blues happening. I just love the feeling of this tune. So it's in G minor, so we're going to be doing some B flat and stuff, so don't panic. This is one of those things where, you know, for Irish players, doing things in flat keys is like almost kind of a no-no. Like, you know, there's certain instances where they do some flat key stuff, but for the most part, they're trying to avoid it like the plague. So this tune is a little bit, you know, going into that full G minor B flat zone. And it's really, really powerful. So we have a nice big G on the top. Nice big, you know, hitting the drone on the bottom. So I'm getting, get in there. And this is where it really works the fourth finger. I love how you get right in there with this. And just that kind of syncopated rhythm is just so unusual for Irish music. It's really fun. And then the second phrase is. So it's got that nice bluesy slide at the top. It's like such a cool take on it. So it's just the tone of this as well. I'm really digging in with the tone here. This is one of those tunes that can almost go at any speed. So you could technically play this tune at this speed and it would be perfectly fine. It really sits really comfortably because it's got that kind of bluesy flavor mixed with that slow Irish reel flavor. It's awesome. So let's start from the top so we can get those two phrases together. So I'm utilizing some kind of classic Irish moves like the down and three up kind of thing. The down and two, I think that's two up. The down and up thing, it can sometimes be two. It has to do more with the timing, the actual amount of notes. Sorry if that's confusing. But I'm really kind of making a little rhythm motif of that da 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 dum ba dum dum da dum. And then this part really has to be separate. It doesn't have to be. Let me not say there's any have tos, but I like to do it separately because I like to give myself the room to attack those different notes. So I'm really hitting that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that little kind of calypso vibe in there. So if you notice, I'm really popping that open D there. And that's what really gives it that uneven kind of feel. Okay, cool. Let's go on to the next phrase. So we got some nice third finger slides here, really kind of playing up that Irish blues kind of feel. So, and really milk those slides too. You can milk them a bit more because we're kind of going for a bluesy thing. You can really give them a little. You hit it. You can, you know, get away with a little extra play there. And then the next phrase is. So as you know, I'm sure you're noticing by now, wow, this is a lot of third and fourth finger. And I would really take advantage of it and use this as a kind of practice tune. If you need help up in the, if your fourth finger is in need of some exercise, I would really go ahead and workshop this tune. And that's going right into the next, so we get a little chromatic pickup into the next thing. One more time. And then right into the next phrase. So actually, I'm sorry, if we're going to do the first ending and go back into the A part, which we are from there, then we would play. So do that same little chromatic pickup. And that's just a, if you're wondering what that is, that's we have a F natural there, and then we have an F sharp, but I'm doing that with my third finger. So I can slide into the G. And again, that's not something you would do in Irish music probably ever. This is kind of because there's a little blues influence here. We're kind of playing around with so we're kind of bending the rules here. So now that we've gotten through all that, let's just do the whole A part really slow. That's a big up bow because we're going to hit our top G for the B part. So that's all of that. Let's talk about what's going on in there. So we have. So we have, excuse me, sorry. It's a little pollen in my throat. So we have the nice roll at the top. And then from here, I'm going right into that up bowy staccato, not staccato, syncopated rhythm here. So I'm kind of putting a little, it's almost like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. So if you, depending on how you want to think about this, I'm kind of thinking about hitting both of those B flats and then both of those Ds. I'm actually not counting very much because I'm not a counter. I kind of do everything by feel. And if you want to count that out and say, okay, we're going to do each 3 notes, my brain doesn't really work in numbers and letters so well. So I kind of do everything by feel. So if you're a counting kind of person, you got to count that out and figure out what it is. That's great. If you're a by ear, by feel player like me, it's also okay not to count. I just wanted to put that out there because I often am playing things and having to go back and figure out numerically what I did. And you don't have to think about that. Honestly, it's it's like it's not totally necessary unless you have to explain it. And so I will go through now and figure out what that is numerically, but I'm just saying you don't have to. Like there's a lot of people who you don't have to think that way. It's going so fast you almost can't. You know what I mean? So, but let's figure out what it is for the sake of this tutorial video. Let's figure out what the numbers are. So I'm going dum ba da 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 dum da 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 da. So what we're doing there is a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. Okay, so it's all triplets there. If you count that first little dum da da da, if you think about that as being 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. So you can count the syncopations in 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2, or 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. So you can make that a combination. So that is sort of what's happening underneath. But because the melody changes a little bit, I'm sort of using that to go off of, subconsciously, obviously, because I hadn't even thought about it. See how this works? Like once it gets into your system, you don't think about it so much. But that's what's going on underneath. And then the tune is happening on top, and I am referencing that syncopated rhythm because I've practiced it so much that it's just in there. So something to think about. You want this stuff to be pretty automatic rather than thinking about, okay, now I'm going to go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. You want to just kind of feel it out because that's what happens in real life. So let's try this whole first part again so you can see how that works. Okay, and then continuing on. And so I'm not doing a syncopated rhythm there. I'm just following the melody. Same there. I'm just kind of playing the tune. And then when I go into the tune again, I'm actually going to punch that syncopated bit up a little bit so it's more pronounced. Do you see how I did that where I'm actually exaggerating things? And that is another way that you can add a variation. So if I'm going to play the first time fairly straight and do a little syncopation, and then when I go back for the repeat, I'm going to accentuate those bits, and it really makes a huge difference. It's amazing how just a little accentuation there can, make that part pop out a little bit more. And then people are, once they've heard it once, they can go back and go, oh wow, that's a cool thing. So let's try this a little bit faster, because that's where this stuff really starts to come out. So let's try it. 1 2 3 4. So that's down and down, up, and then we're going to go into the B part. We're going to start right off with that F sharp to G there, a little. Gonna hammer on that G. Oh, it's so pretty. After that, really, I love tunes like this where they go really low and then they go really high, because you get all this like gutsiness in the first part and then just prettiness at the top, and it gives it such a beautiful little contrast. So we're gonna be pretty and snappy at the top, as opposed to getting into the grit there. There's a video that I made in the technique section that's all about intonation and grit and all of those things. So if you want to check out the grit video, we'll get really sandpapery with that G string. But now we're going to get pretty at the top here. So if flat keys aren't your thing, here's the chance to really get these low ones going here. This is nice and stretchy. Oh, it feels so good on the hand. When I have to warm up for a gig really fast, like when I have cold hands and I haven't played all day or since yesterday and I need to jump on stage for a gig, I will hard play in flat keys for 5 minutes and I will be so warm for anything. So this just uses all of your muscles. So let's try. So I'm get some nice snappy rolls and trills up here. And then I'm going to go to the open E. Isn't that pretty? So I love double stops like this where you just get into that C and G action. So that's a B flat at the top there. Ooh, you could almost slide it. That would be kind of cool. If you have time, which you might not if this tune's going fast. One more time. Okay, so let's try those two phrases together. Okay, one more time. And now the next phrase. Okay, so getting back into gutsy zone at the bottom, but start at the pretty top. One more time. And then last phrase. So that's right down to the C there. So we're not going to do that chromatic pickup because we don't have time to get to the top. So it'll just be an F G. Do you see how that works? So the first ending is big jump up to the G. And then the second ending going into the A part is so that's that chromatic pickup into the slide into the G there. Okay, so let's try the whole B part together. 1, 2, here we go. happening in that B part. I've got some things that I maybe didn't mention at the top, so definitely roll on that top. Why not? It's just like a really good opportunity for a nice pretty roll. And then we have some really cool double stops. That is just such a nice bluesy sounding fourth there. It's really, you know, would be a mistake to miss it. So that was me adding just a few more touches of trills in there just to see what's possible. You know, you can play around and see how much you can stuff in, but then at the end of the day, when you're playing this fast, you might not have time for all that, and it might make it seem crowded, even if you can do it. So for this one, this is one of those tunes I would say, do what emphasizes and accentuates the tune, but maybe don't overdo it with tons of ornamentation and trills. I would do just some well-chosen ones. That's what I tend to fall into with this tune, and really get into the tone. This tune is all about, for me, is all about the tone of that bow. So getting this extra heavy, really gutsy, powerful bows at the bottom. And then when you get up to the top, you know, I'm really lightening up at the top and trying to get it to sound pretty or prettier anyway. There's only so pretty that, you know, it's not a pretty tune per se. It's just the contrast between the A part and the B part that you want to accentuate. So I want to do this one fast and slow. So let's do a sort of groovy version first, and then we'll do a fast version. So let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, and... All right, so let's go for a faster version, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we have it. That is Ann Lacey's. Thank you so much for learning this tune with me today, and thanks for jamming out at the end. I love playing this tune so much I almost didn't want to stop playing it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you get all into this flat key behavior. If you're an Irish player and are used to doing that kind of thing, I hope you join me on that journey, and I will see you next time.